welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are discussing the Cbdc that is all over the internet currently. If you've been following obviously all the other channels and news generally, you know the central bank digital currency is pretty much happening all over the world. And although I've been reading a lot and watching a lot of channels, it's not really been kind of in the public eye in the UK, not to a general public to say, hey, this is what's happening. So anyway, my other half the other day, I've seen an article, apparently they were recruiting for the head of Cbdc. So basically it's now coming up a little bit more into the public eye for people to know and trying to understand what is happening. So central bank digital currency, basically there to replace the paper money. So if you guys been following the channel, part of some of the videos I've done where we kind of thinking and preparing for the times when the digital currency comes in, when we're basically losing our options of using cash and losing the choices to how we spend our money. So the article basically, as I said, was there that they are recruiting the head of digital currency thing, and they're basically looking of way and trying to find a ways of implement the digital currency. We are, as far as I understand, quite far behind to how the other countries already doing it. So as my understanding how we're going to be doing this is going to become like a digital token. If you ever seen, I don't remember what the name of the film is, but they're basically a few of the futuristic films, if you actually bear this in mind, quite often, if you look at them now, some videos that might come up like 5 or 10 years ago, the ones that pretended to be like looking into the future, certain things there, and quite a lot of them actually came true. And it was one of the specific films, I can't remember what it's called, but you had a little barcode, and you had I know they had that thing, their time they had to live on there, but nonetheless, the point is there, it's linked to your, not to your ID, but again, this is a different matter, different subject, but it's kind of all under the same umbrella. So basically things there, you get allocated your tokens of currency. I wanted to quickly, sorry, it's kind of a diverse video. It's really difficult trying to cover all the aspects I want to say it, because I'm not saying that I'm worried, but let's start firstly with the, so cryptocurrency. Me and my husband invested in a cryptocurrency in the middle of pandemic when the things were really, really low. And at the time we were thinking, okay, things are quite low, things couldn't possibly get any worse. So we invested a little bit of money, we both made our choices, we've done the research, and we both invested in some of the same cryptos and some were different. And we thought, okay, well, it can only get better. And at some point we're like, yeah, that's great. I've been watching the channel in the guy in America that runs a stock exchange, and I was watching him every day, like, let's trade in currency, let's try to make extra money. And although initially it was doing really, really well, then after a little while, we missed the boat basically of selling the currency, and things just crashed dramatically. And at the moment we lost 2/3 of the investment. We haven't invested like huge amount of money, but nonetheless it's upsetting enough to be able to lose whatever you invested. Not that we technically lost it, but it has gone down a lot. And it made me think, and that's the kind of the part of the video as well, when they bring in the digital currency, my worry is, would there suddenly crypto becomes like wiped out because the government said, you know what, our digital pound is a digital pound and your crypto is competition for our digital currency. I don't know, but it just makes me worried. And would it make me take my crypto out? Probably not, because we're past the stage now. I'm like, it's all or nothing. We lost so much money on it. They're technically pulling this out, where there's still maybe a possibility for it going out. I don't know, but there's a worry there that no idea what's going to happen with the digital pound. It just not seem to be enough information, or even with the preppers, or with genuinely understanding how we are going to kind of resolve this kind of issue, how we're going to get to the destination. We know where we're heading, guys. We've been discussing this on this channel and many other channels you watch. We know the destination is obviously people sit at home, get their not minimum wage, the what do you call it, the national wage, and obviously with the digital currency, this and that. So we know basically how the world is shaping. We just don't quite know how they're going to make us get there. Okay, anyway, another point is made me worried a little bit when I've seen a lot of people saying, oh my God, let's get the money out now, get the money now because the bank's going to crash because of the Cbdc is happening. Well, not being funny, but it's my understanding, if the banks are going to crash anyway, then your paper money that you're going to like take out of the cash machine and stuck under your pillow only going to be good enough just to probably light up your Kelly kettle as a Kindle, because literally there'd be no point. So I'm quite a bit worried when I've watched a few of them saying, get the money out now. Well, get them out and what? The whole idea is all the governments clearly in the world wanting to get the cash out of the system. So whatever way they're going to do this, whether it's going to be obviously shutting down the banks and pretend it was a massive cyber attack, or just they shut the banks down, if they don't want you to have this money, if you physically have the money, and you know guys, if you follow, you know, the great reset they were talking about, there's basically going to be the outage for X amount of time, and the bank going to go, sorry, everything been wiped out, you owe nothing, you're happy, blah, 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 blah. So technically, whatever money you had physically in your bank account is the numbers you had, say, £5,000, is going to get wiped out. So that's fine, because it's good for them, because they want you to have the digital currency where they can control what you have or don't have. At the same time, if you're taking this money out and the banks still go down, your money is still going to be worth nothing, absolutely nothing. Because again, there's a film I watched. It was again an SHDF situation, and it was a chaos. And somebody was in a supermarket, and somebody grabbed something. It was one of the items left, and the bloke wanted to have it. So he took a wad of cash out and said, oh, I really need it, here we go. And the guy looked around and goes, have a look around and think, like, this money you're giving me is just paper. It means absolutely nothing to anybody anymore. And that's the point, that to rush people to get the money out and do what? Hide them under the pillow? You can invest them. Yes, many people do invest in like Dubai, in the different countries, in Swiss banks, absolutely. But the whole thing is, it's all happening there. Yes, we're not hearing so much about the Dubai, but they're not going to be the ones that left, the only country that's going to be left alone with that digital currency. This whole thing is happening all over the world. You might be able to hide from somewhere for a little bit from whatever country, but you're not going to be hiding there for very long, because things are going to get there, and they're going to get there at the same time. So it's a worrying time, guys. And you know, I mentioned one of the videos I did about buying stuff now. I'm still like of the same opinion. I'm still trying to, as hard as I can, just trying to have stuff. And I encourage you, if you possibly can, rather than trying to save money, is to get the stuff that you need, not necessarily want. Although I'm not saying don't save money, because we have savings ourselves as well. But what worries me with the whole idea of the digital currency, that if the banks decided to reset the whole thing, and very soon, because again, things that seem to be happening sooner than anticipated, and every time I see something is we're one step closer to the place that I don't want to be in. And I'm not saying, guys, don't save. We have savings, but it worries me, because if you have savings and they wipe everything off in the reset, you don't own anything. At the same time, of course, if you have a mortgage and you own bank money, technically, there's going to be all wiped off as well. So technically, hey presto, the scenario everybody's talking about, you own nothing and you be happy. So it brings me down then to the, what do you call it? Oh my God, the national wage, guys, sorry, the national wage. I've read the article, was the middle of the last year. They were actually testing this in Wales, alongside probably somewhere else in the UK, I don't know. They basically were suggesting that a wage of £500 per adult and £250 per sibling be given to people as a general wage. So basically, you can sit at home, do nothing, you get your basic thing to cover your I don't know, food, rent, whatever you guys need. And then if you need any more, then you have to go and work. So it brings it in and trying to collide to the idea of having the Cbdc, obviously the digital currency, and national wage. Because how on earth then technically the government could possibly implement keeping everybody happy with X amount of money coming into your bank account unless they implement the digital currency? If you think about it for a second, right? Generally when they print money, they have to physically spend time and effort in printing money. With digital currency, it's just a bunch of numbers. So as my husband said, somebody could just sit there and goes, okay, so house number one, your minimum wage is, not minimum wage, sorry, I keep saying this, your household wage says £1,250. Boom, here we go, you're done, you're done, you're done. This is how simple it is. And this is how they could easily implement that, what they're already trying to implement, by introducing a digital currency. And of course you say, well, what there'd be incentive for people to go and work? Because of course, guys, we need people that still raise animals, if we're still allowed to have animals and farms and everything else, or make a production, produce cars or produce anything else. And this is where the addition of people, if you want to have something more, then you have to go and work. So basically the idea is like when you're going to say, I would like to go and buy myself a car, get my national wage, and I would like to go and buy myself a car. You can't. There's the whole idea of the control with the digital money. So they will tell you, like they pretty much do like social credits in China, what you can or cannot buy. So you got your money, you buy your milk, you buy your food, you buy this, maybe you buy your petrol, and this is your allowance of a digital money. So then to be able to afford to buy different things like maybe alcohol, I don't know, it's just a speculation how it's going to work. But if you want to buy anything better to better your life, then you have to go into work. And this is where the people like this will have be going to work and be obviously creating the products and services for people that, like myself, would want to go and purchase, because there will be many people probably be quite happy to sit and just receive the minimum wage and just have a chilled life. To be fair, we worked hard all our life, all the time, and we're literally running like headless chickens constantly. And I think, do you know what? Is it a good idea? Technically, to myself, just to take a year off and just sit in my minimum wage, I think I would like the idea just to chill out a bit. Do you know what I mean? Just to take a break from rushing around and doing whatever we do in life. But then I think, well, afterwards, well, that's just existing. I would like to have something better in life. So I would go and get a job to try to earn more money to then to be able to afford for myself or my family to have something better. So this is kind of, I want to kind of summary up the video, guys. But and initially I said to you guys, buy stuff if you have an ability, buy something now. The digital currency looks like it's happening soon, and well, soon we're talking probably between 2 to 5 years. So yes, we have time, but this is just my understanding and my, so say like a gut feeling, to be fair. It could take longer or it could be much quicker. To be fair, when the dearest Queen passed away, we thought that would be the time they're potentially going to stop using the Queen's money as a legal tender and introduce the digital currency sooner rather than start reprinting the new money with a new face on. So, you know, that hasn't happened. So, okay, that's been apparently pushed back to like 2024 to introduce a new face on the money. So, I don't know. But at the same time, I cover this in the different videos, things are happening behind the lines are so fast that we don't even know. Some things we don't even know until they hit like the mainstream media, or unless somebody reads something in a tiny little website that actually speaks the truth or whatever is coming out. So basically, we don't know. So my point is, guys, we need to be prepared. I don't want to panic because to be fair, I just don't know what to do with the whole lot of this information, because so many things dependent on it. And you start thinking, oh, well, you know, is somebody going to take our house away from us because, the whole reset happens and they don't know whether you own the house or not. Yes, you can have a paper deed, but generally I think paper deeds kept at council anyway, aren't they? Mortgage company. So yeah, if you can't then get in touch with the mortgage company, then, well, you physically, in UK, we don't physically hold this. So I can't physically prove it to anybody that I own my house. Do you know what I mean? So this is... Unless your mortgage is paid for, of course. But at the same time, guys, we're saying that if one of the things it could be, you could try to think and pay off the mortgage. Well, potentially we're thinking like past couple of years, should we concentrate on paying off the mortgage? But then these things come out and you think, well, what's the point of trying to pay it off if when the reset happens and they say you're going to owe nothing and be happy? So basically all your debts and all your credits be wiped off. So you'd be basically in the point to zero. So what's the point of me spending my money now on paying off my mortgage when I can just buy occasional things to make my future life potentially happier? Do you see what I'm getting with this? It's a very complicated subject, and I know many people covering this, but they sort of hammering it down politically and heavily. But I'm looking at this as just an average person, as an average prepper. I want to be prepared, but in some instances, like, okay, let's just logically try and think about it. And at the moment, my logic is, yes, we have savings, yes, we have mortgage, we're still doing a little bit of overpayment on the mortgage, and I'm still saving where I can. However, my priority still now goes to still buying and making sure that my house is ready, the things that I want in my garden are there, things in my house that I want are here, just in case the thing just suddenly can switch, be turned off like overnight and suddenly, do you know what, all wiped out and we'll start again tomorrow. And we're not ready for it tomorrow. I'm not ready for next month. I need another like good 6 months to a year, to be fair, to be prepared at the place where I want to be. And I'm not talking about the food-wise, guys. I'm just talking about the general stuff. I want to hunker down in the house and think, do you know what, I can live with this on my minimum wage, or national wage, sorry, and stay in my house and be happy and supply and have variety of things to do and things to grow and just genuinely be a happy person. So Anyway, I think I've gone on for quite a while. So anyway, hopefully guys, you enjoy this video. If you're new to the channel, this channel is all about prepping, obviously preparing for the future and what is to come. If you haven't subscribed already, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.